Oh, it's just an animal. Right there. What's an animal going to do for you? What's the big deal? And more I'm getting engrossed in the pet. And right now my pet, my golden retriever is actually sleeping right down there. She refuses to move out of the room. Probably she realizes that we're going to be speaking about her today. And so let me take you through the slides. So good afternoon, everybody. We are today going to be talking on this beautiful platform where we are having lifelong learning for adults, older adults like you and me. And the best part of this platform is that we learn from each other, empower each other. We also dance with each other, sing with each other, we learn with each other. It's such an empowering platform. The best is that when we at Get Set Up see you growing, and having a smile on your face, just like Shiraz had 2 minutes back, it changes the world for us as well as I'm sure it changes the world for you. Today, we're going to be talking about pets at home, and I am Dr. Anu Mehta, and we have Agam, who is going to be my TA, and I have a special guest with me because I'm not an expert with pets. I just love them. I have a special guest with me, Aarti Desai, and I will be introducing her shortly. She's amazing with pets, and she has been in this space, someone who's shown me a vision, someone who's made me aware that pets have life too. Animals भी इंसान हैं. Yeah, animals भी इंसान हैं. या ऐसे कह लें कि हम पेट्स को इंसानों की तरह ट्रीट करने की कोशिश करते हैं. We are trying to treat animals like human beings, which they are not. And yet, we humans need to look at pets very differently. They are the most loving species on this planet Earth who have not been given what is rightfully theirs. So deep acknowledgement of Aarti Desai, deep acknowledgement for Agam and for Get Set Up for bringing this amazing topic out in the open. So today we're going to specifically carry the work further of the bug flowers that we spoke last time. We're going to be doing about treating and caring for our pets at home. So if you take these tips, you can even carry these tips to pets outside and even on for the animals on the street. Okay. So I wanted to give you new updates. We are starting with 30-minute classes for quick learning. We are covering fitness, wellness, Chai Pe Charcha classes. These classes are running at 7:30 a.m. in the morning, 5:30, 6:30 p.m. in the evening, and 10:30 p.m. at night. Join us for these classes for health benefits and learning. This is our guest, Aarti Desai. She's an animal communicator, a holistic animal healer, sound healer for pet, and bug flower trainer. So just like I do sound for you all, she does sound for animals as well as for human beings. Whenever I'm in distress, she's the one I call out and say, "Hi, I'm right here. Can you help me out, please?" And you often will find that she has her way around with bug flowers, with sound and communication. And let's go from here. What are the objectives of today? So we'll be picking up each topic over here and we'll be discussing it with Aarti. But basically, we're going to see how can we learn what is an impact of emotions on our pets. Often we think that pets are without emotions, right? So that's the first one that we'll be taking. Then to understand as a pet parent, what we need to keep an eye on when we are looking after or caring for our pet. We also need to understand as a pet parent how to support our pets emotionally. Yes, you heard it right. How to take care of your pet emotionally, not just the physical needs of the pet. And to learn the impact of emotions on the physical body of the pet. And last but not the least, we're going to be making use of bug flowers as the remedy and how to utilize it. So I will right now ask Aarti. I'm going to remove the slide and welcome everybody. And I'm going to, hi Anjana. I'm just going to get Aarti right here with me. So Aarti, ये emotional locha क्या है with animals? I mean, animals and emotions. I've always heard animal is there, he barks or she meows. I mean, animals and emotions. Can you talk about it, please? Thank you.
Thank you, Anu. We all know that we all are emotional beings. The first core thing that we need to really understand, we came from the animals. We were apes, we were monkeys, we were on 4 legs. And even much before that, we were water elements, we were water, we were minerals and rocks.
Aarti, just stop there. I don't believe you. I was always a human being. I never came from an animal. And you are making me an animal. I really, really thank you. I really want all of you to hear her words out, guys. Our source is animals. Our source is that we came from animals. And I'm going to let Aarti continue. It's because this concept that animal is lower than us is taking such circles around the community that we haven't looked at the animals properly. So, Aarti, continue, please.
So that's one aspect of the animal. To go further down, we were rocks and stones. So we were part of nature. So we have to understand we all are part of one nature itself, Mother Earth. We all are beings of one thing. So if one is feeling the emotions, the other is going to feel the emotions. That's why we call ourselves humans as social animals. So when we are doing interactions, when there are interactions between the 2 people or 2 animals, there is an emotional exchange. There is an emotion that is getting exchanged. Now, be it fear, be it anger, be it pain, be it depression, these are all, we very commonly we hear these terms for ourselves as humans. But our animals equally feel these emotions, be it anger, jealousy, even for that matter, depression. They equally feel a loss of someone going from their family. It could be an animal, it could be a separation from their mother. So many animals do get separated from their mother. And we know in the animal kingdom, after a certain age, the mother kind of leaves the children to survive on their own. That's a survival skill. The humans actually are holding on to the offsprings very strongly.
So Aarti, just halting you here. You're talking about emotions. Can you tell our beautiful audience, when we're talking about emotions, what really are emotions? Because I believe that most of the people don't know what emotions are. Most of the people think emotion is a state of being. Can you just explain to them, when you're saying 2 animals interact with each other, they're exchanging emotions, but yeah, emotions hai kya?
The emotion is how we emote. At the end of the day, how I am going to respond to another being is through the various emotions that I'm going to go through. Either I'm going to be very joyous, I'm going to feel very comfortable with the person around, I will emote joy, happiness. If in my environment I go through subject to abandonment, or there are people who are not talking to me, or I'm locked into a room, I'm giving you this as a child also and as an animal. That animal is not going to be happy in that space. He is going to be sad. Animals need constant social interactions with the humans that they're staying with. So if you're getting an animal and going to lock him in a very spacious bedroom, in an AC bedroom, and think that you've really done very good for the animal, it's not. He needs the human animal interaction has to be there. In the wild, he is doing the animal interaction, but in your environment, where you're getting the animal to your environment, that environment also becomes his environment. He starts looking at you as the family member, the pack, which they believe in the pack system. But they take you as family members. So they are going to wanting that interaction between you and them.
So what is this pack system that we are talking about here?
So in the wild, when we are living, when the animals or even the humans, when they live in the wild, it's all about survival. Now, who goes, fetches the food and come? Who is the one who's going to fight for the food? That becomes the pack leader, because he is the most powerful, he's the most strongest.
So Aarti, now I have this golden retriever at home and we are 3 of us at home. That's my husband, I, and we have my son, and of course there's a maid, a live-in maid, and people who are coming and going. Now, how will she know who is the head of the pack? How does she decide who is the head of the pack? And when we're talking about emotional exchange, and so beautifully explained by you that what we emote, what is it that I should be expecting as a pet parent?
You have to understand the animals are very smart. They exactly know who is where, who is standing where. And with the animals now staying in domesticated environment in the houses, they become much more smarter to understand that with this person I have to interact this way, with this person I have to interact this way. So they understand the hierarchy very well, that what's going on at home. They'll also know who's going to get upset with what and everything, and they mold themselves very easily around. They're very adaptable. That's the reason they have adapted even to us. They adapted in the wild. They adapted to domestications also, especially when we're talking about dogs and cats.
Wow. I mean, imagine, guys, we thought we were giving them place. They're actually adapting themselves, and we are bringing them into an environment and making them adapt, because they are the creatures of the wild. They are not somebody who needs to be tamed or put in the house or put into the structure, and they are very easily taking to that structure. Okay, so that you're saying my golden retriever would know how to manage me.
We don't manage them; they manage us. Ultimately.
So my golden retriever knows how to manage me. She knows how to manage my son, how to manage my maid, and how to manage my husband. Can you give a little glimpse from your pets as to how that happens and how does that look like?
See, the animals will know that this person will give me a cup of ice cream, and this person is not going to. They know that from me they'll not get it, so they know they'll get it from my husband a little bit. Even though if I'll tell him no, one of my cats know that she will get it from him. So it's like they have this understanding. Even if you see many times, there is I think the cats also know the animals, even the dogs, they know maths also very well, according to me.
Maths.
If you take maths.
Okay.
Why I say that, I'm saying that on a lighter note, but why I say that, if you take out 3 treats and you give your pet 2 treats, they know the third one is there.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It's like, yeah, absolutely. And I do say this 1, 2, 3, and I play the ball with her, and she knows exactly what that means. After 3, she has to jump. Yes.
Because that we are teaching them. Again, we are teaching them. They pick up things from repetitive behavior. That's how the training is also done. We repeat again and again. Do this, sit, no, yes, come here. These words are repeated and then given a treat to them, like a motivation is given to them. Okay, if they sit, if they hear that fanatic of sit, because initially they're not picking up the words, they're listening to our tone. So that goes a lot into, understanding the behavior, and that goes a lot into training the animal. Now, in this also, again, the emotions play a role. If an animal is not in a mental state of joy or happiness, or not in the mental state that he wants to learn. I remember one case that happened with my dog, and she had a trainer who would come at home, and I got her as a puppy, would come and train her, but she was not in that state of mind for any training that day. She literally walked out from the room and she went and sat in the other room and said, I'm not training. And at that point of time, I have to understand my animal is not in that mental state too. Because if I force her to do any kind of activity there, it's going to be of no use, because her mind is somewhere else. She's not focused. So here again, bark flasks come in help for animals who need a lot of, there are for some animals where, if you see, especially with labs, they are super excited animals. We call them, so they are certain personality where they're always excited. And for them, their focus is very limited. So now to how we can enhance the focus, even when we are doing bark flasks, we have a remedy for that also. So bark flask also helps in training, in helping an animal to train. Now, whenever an emotion is not working in a positive state, there is a change in behavior. So as pet parents, we need to always observe our animals very closely. If there is a slight behavior and they change, are they getting temperamental? Because if they are getting temperamental, there could be some kind of changes that's happened in the environment, or they could also possibly be going through a pain or a physical thing. I know of a cat who was really behaving very aggressively since a very long time. And all we came to know is that he had stones in his kidney. He has urinary stones. And his behavior was different. He was marking, he was peeing outside the litter box. These are basic, simple symptoms which as pet parents we need to be very observant if our animal is doing something which is not from their normal activity. First, we need to check if there is a medical condition. Urinating outside you or pooping outside where they don't poop or where they have never and they're doing it all of a sudden, our animals are not vindictive. I have many times heard that people will say, oh, my animal wants to get back to me, it's upset with me. No, please look at the medical reason first. If there are no stones, there could be a possibility he has a pain, there is a nerve pain, there is a pull in the body, and the animal is just expressing an emotion, which is anger, or an emotion of being intolerant. So do not touch me.
Wow. I remember, Aarti, when the COVID was going on and my whole family, including me, came down with COVID. And after which, my very well-trained dog, toilet-trained dog, suddenly started peeing in my living room. And we couldn't understand what was happening. I mean, as it is, I had fever, and then there was all this peeing that she was doing. It was rather challenging. And yes, when we connected with the doctor, they said, please take the urine test and send it to us, which was strange for me because I'd never done that before. So, it's like as a pet parent, I wasn't equipped to do that. And something just changed for me there when I realized that, they're just like us in many, many ways. And it's probably two-way process, Aarti, where the animal is also expressing a change because there's a change happening in the family.
Yes.
And can you throw some light on that, please?
So we have to understand our animals mirror us. They will mirror an emotion that's happening at home. If there is a conflict that is happening at home, for example, if there is a fight happening at home, the animal is going to pick up that energy. Either the animal is going to get fearful, sit in a place and get very depressive about it, or the animal itself is going to show aggression.
Wow.
I had a case of an animal which came to me as a communication case, where the animal, in the communication, there are times when the animals really share very deep things in the communication. And the animal shared that the woman in the house was going through physical abuse.
Wow.
And the reason the animal was showing a behavior to the human is for the human to stand up for itself.
Wow, that's big.
So when we tell human animals are very limited, which you spoke about, we are the higher ones. We really need to think who are the higher ones because they cannot speak a language, but they tell us so many things, which is so many people are going through what in their family. And I come to know that from an animal, and the woman did acknowledge it, but obviously she didn't, it takes a lot of courage to act upon it. And obviously she didn't act upon it, or she did, I really don't know because she didn't get back to me. But these are things that happens. The animal gets impacted. There will be animals who will take up that role and say, okay, you need to do something about it. And there will be animals who will take it physically on themselves. It's a very, very common thing, an animal having a similar health issue what the pet owner is having. Or
how does that happen, Aarti? I mean, you're absolutely right that, it was that night, one day before Luna actually developed, where she was going on peeing in my living room, and not once, but that whole night, before that, because of the COVID, I was getting up the whole night, practically every half an hour or 1 hour, and going to pee. And I had never been so uncomfortable, and I could make out that she's aping me. And yet I was surprised, and I still haven't understood why would she ape me. So yeah.
Because our animals come into our lives as mirrors. They are the biggest teachers. They have, if an animal is entering your space, you have to understand why this specific soul has chosen to enter your space. It's not that you pick up an animal and you've just picked up an animal. That animal definitely has some emotional wounds with you. We share emotional wounds with our animal, and they have come to help us so that both of us together, the animal and the human together, can work on that emotional wound. So if we really start looking at the patterns that the animal is showing and I have that pattern running me, then what is it that I need to do to make those changes in my life?
Wow, that's great. That's huge. The animal is come to something huge. And I love the way Anjana is doing this. And there's a lot of questions rolling in from Anjana, and we will take them up. But I'm like, I just want Aarti to talk first because we'll get a lot more knowledge and then pick up the questions. And that's why I'm not been looking at them. But it's huge. So if I was to now look at it and being, and probably she came to tell me that I must know where to be, I must know how to mark my space, or I have to do something wherein I have to learn that I don't have to mark my space everywhere, and wherever I'm standing, that's the right place for me to mark, rather than going to the living room and marking my space, then going to the bedroom and marking my space, then going to the kitchen. I don't have to play all these roles. Wow, I never thought about it like that, Aarti. Can you give us another example where you've become aware of how the physical symptom of the animal had actually come to teach the pet parent or the family member something? Thank you. I really appreciate it.
So I have a client who is coming to me for healing since a while, but she's coming for her pet. She's not taken yet the initiative to work on herself. And both the pet parent and the pet is having thyroid. And the animal is having a very, very huge thyroid. And I kept on telling her that working on him alone is not going to help. Because if he has taken up thyroid, then I asked her that where are the places where she is in conflict with her own self, where she has not, she told me that she's in a joint family, she could not speak up, and there was a whole lot that she's gone through. But though she's staying separately now, she's yet not taking that charge of working on herself. The animal is yet in that same position, but the changes will only come when the human and the animal join hands together. The human animal is not going to the lessons what the animal has come to teach you, of probably taking that, having that self-love for yourself. We keep saying that we love our animals and everything, but first love comes from self.
Now, how can we give love if we don't have for ourselves?
Exactly. It's a very limited definition, because only when I love myself, because I'm filled with that energy of love, will I give love. So we have to understand is that a very compromised love, because you have to take care of yourself to be able to give your 100% to your animal.
Absolutely. And how can we bring in buck flowers here? If we can talk a little bit around that, then we can open the forum to the questions. And I really acknowledge Reena and Mamta for being here, Shiraz for being here. A request, if we can keep the cameras on, I will know what you look like, and probably I'll be able to, connect with you better. Thank you. Okay, Aarti.
When we were talking with buck flowers, one of the best remedies for any kind of infections, when we know there's an infection, there's a UTI, or any kind of skin infections also. When we know the word as infection is there, crab apple is the remedy to be used. And crab apple can also be sprayed on the skin, again, which I had explained last time. We can just take, water and, put a few drops of crab apple in that and spray it on the animal. We also get.
Could you give us the recipe again? Because there are people who probably haven't gone to the before video and they don't get access to it anymore. So if you can repeat it again for everyone, they'll know exactly how to make it. And I can see Anjana has created it and she's showing it. Yay! Okay, so let's get the recipe once more.
You get your 30 ml glass bottle. Always prepare it on a glass bottle. And you can fill it with 30 ml of water and take crab apple. Usually when we are working with skin, I will always work with agrimony and crab apple. I will speak about what is agrimony. And very interestingly, agrimony is one remedy. It's a very powerful remedy. I feel it's a game changer, but it's a very aggressive remedy. And I will speak about it because it's my favorite remedy. And I'll share you my personal experiences with agrimony. So what agrimony basically does is removes agrimony people are those who mask everything. They mask their emotions so that the other person doesn't feel bad.
Okay.
And our animals are so much in agrimony nowadays because they need to please us. So I have seen agrimony really strongly coming. For a human, when you take an agrimony and you've not taken care of other emotions, it can be very aggressive. So it's not recommended to take agrimony in the first couple of sessions. It's only when we have worked up with the anger, we worked up with the inner emotions is when I will work with agrimony. But with animals, when you're working with skin, because sometimes what is the reason behind a skin infection, we don't know. So agrimony will bring that out. Agrimony will bring the root cause out. So if you can definitely apply it on the skin, it's safe to apply it on the skin, agrimony and crabapple, whenever there is a skin issue. And then obviously then it becomes very individualized. When an individual animal comes, I will be looking at the animal as a whole, but this is like a very generic thing, what I'm telling you. Now, agrimony for humans, we know we suppress emotion, we suppress anger, we suppress resentment, we don't express ourselves out at all. And when I'll give you my personal experience when I took agrimony, and I just took agrimony, and I have had so much pain and grief within me where I felt that, no one loves me. And I think I just took one drop of agrimony.
Oh my God.
Only a drop of agrimony, and I was crying. But the good thing about agrimony is you will cry for 2 days. It's Anumeta in a bottle. You'll cry for 2 days, but you will actually empty yourself out. It's such a liberating feeling after it. But again, I will say as a disclaimer, please do not take agrimony until you've not worked with your anger, sadness, grief, because the outburst can be too much.
I would say it would be, especially when you said Anumeta in the bottle, somebody who doesn't express is laughing loudly and then suddenly says, it might be difficult for other people to understand, isko kya hua? And that's probably also the part that why we as human beings mask, because we don't want others to give us that attention. And yet what we want probably is attention.
They are peacemakers. They will do everything for the making of for there being peace at home. So they will swallow. They are also the jokers, and they will be in a party, and like we say, in the center who will be in the party and make everyone laugh. It's like, that song of yours which you sing. तुम इतना क्यों मुस्कुरा रहे हो, क्या गम हो जो छुपा रहे हो. It exactly tells agrimony state of mind. So our animals literally do this, because if even our animals mask their pain, we know the threshold for pain for animals is very high. So they will mask that pain also. So whenever there is something very chronic and I'm not able to understand, or the vet is also not able to understand what is happening, then agrimony can actually help. And I work with a device which is called the Healy device, which scans a lot of bark flowers. And in this past couple of years, when I have scanned animals, and we scan them with bark flowers also with that machine, and agrimony has showed up for mostly every one of them. And that was a time, it was an alarm for me that there is something happening here with our animals, where they are suppressing a lot of things to keep us happy.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense actually, Aarti, because they are in an environment which is not theirs. Then they are behaving like jokers to help us out everywhere. And obviously they are hiding themselves in the facade of this happiness because they aren't getting their environment, they're getting our environment. And hum khush hain kya hamari environment mein? That's a bigger question, because so many of us are teaching them at a subconscious level to mask our feelings And that's what they're learning from us. And if they are noticing, they are watching us very intensely and saying, oh, okay, that can be done.
Exactly. And that explains also why they're picking up diseases from us. Because that's the reason it becomes so important for the human to work on himself also, because you need to keep emptying yourself. Your cup is going to get full, your animal's cup is going to get full. And when the animal's cup gets really full, then he reaches to a personality which is called the beach personality. Beach, B-E-E-C-H. A beach personality is basically a personality which is intolerant of everything and anything. So they will be intolerant of others, animals who do not like to be touched, who do not like to be, they are moody animals. We will look at, even for humans who are very moody, who will always complain, who will always find faults in others. They are basically intolerant. Now, for such an animal, if I'm working with agrimony, cleaning up the cup, initially I'll first work with beach. Because first I will remove that intolerance and bring some tolerance to him. And then I will work. And when there is beach, there will be holly. Holly is basically for anger. So even if your animal is having skin issues, which is red in color, when you know the skin is turning red, a holly can also be mixed in the remedy.
Okay. Wow.
So this is the way we then see what are the physical symptoms. So that's the reason you have to observe what is the physical changes in your animal. Because if there is a physical change, means first there has been an emotional change. And we ignore the emotional change that's happening. Because sometimes the emotional changes can be very subtle, which you don't pick up on. And you only pick it up when it becomes an aggressive behavior or a behavior which you are not comfortable with.
Wow, that's like a whole load of information, where if your animal is having a physical problem, what you really need to look at is what is emotionally that you probably have gone through, what is that is impacting your animal, and then what is it that he's taking on from there, because he cannot get out of that loop of emotional drenching, I would call, sitting down and being in the same environment as you. And his adaptation probably is what you're seeing as a physical ailment. Wow, that's huge, Aarti. That's a huge insight to all of us. I'm going to give you another 5 minutes and then ask questions. And please kindly put down your questions in the chat so I can ask them from Aarti. Thank you. Yes, Aarti.
So as I said, again, the beach and the holly then play a role. So when there is intolerance, means there will be anger. When there is anger in intolerance, there will also be a deep down thing where I'm not loving myself. There will be a self-love issue, because there will be, I want love from others. So again, an attention-seeking behavior will be there, which is a chikori. These are very chronic states. Chikori becomes a very chronic state. And a chikori person, when reaches a chronic state, be it an animal or a human, will be holding a lot of health issues. It won't be having one health issue. Because it stems from the place, chikori stems from a place of not feeling loved, wanting love and attention, and wanting appreciation. So if I'm doing this for you, you need to appreciate me. You need to be thankful I'm doing this for you. And they will go out of the way and do for others because they want to be loved, they want to be acknowledged. So it doesn't come from the space of really doing for the person, it comes from the space of being acknowledged. And I remember one of my mentors was teaching it was called the mother-in-law remedy. Okay, because it's a lot. It is also for people, also for siblings. When there is a sibling rivalry, or two animals not getting together, we have to see who is the attention seeking, who is, so it plays a very, chikori is a very core remedy, which is a very important remedy.
Okay, so is it a remedy or is it a personality?
Each remedy is a personality.
Oh.
Each bark fly is a personality. And it's so beautiful when you really learn about the 38 bark flies, you will feel I'm all 38 at some point. We are going to be in all 38 at some point. We are humans, and so is our animals going to. So there are certain remedies like wine, for example, or a willow. And we feel animals do not fall into that category. Like willow is for people who are victim. So we feel animals never feel themselves as victims. So why will a willow be for an animal? But the human emotion with the animal is absorbing, the animal is going to mirror it. And willow, as I said, is a very good remedy also for pain. And when I'm in pain, I'm always going to complain.
So there are people who are always in pain. So they
that is chicory and willow, because chicory person will fall sick because he needs attention. So even if it is not physically he's sick, he's mentally actually sick. He's on the negative state of chicory actually, which is making me, because if I'm sick, I will get attention and love. People will ask me how you are. That's why.
So it's all about how I am rather than, and the world should go around
me. So these are kind of people that even if something is being organized, they need to be asked, sure, you do this. They want importance. And when you seek importance from outside, it's somewhere you're not loved. You're not complete with yourself. And I want to say, please don't hold on to these negatives of these bark flowers, because there's a positive side. We are changing from this. We are all going to go through this. We know one of us have, if anyone says, oh, chicory is such a negative flower, it is not negative. It's a very positive. As humans, we pick up on the negative very strongly. Each and every human, even I go through these emotions. I'm human. I go through chicory. I need love and attention. And that there are sometimes when I go in the negative state of chicory, I can go overboard. I need to bring myself to the positive state of chicory, which is self-love.
Okay, so obsession with self can also be self-love, and obsession with self can also be expressed in an extremely negative way, which others might look at it and say, this person is going hysterical. What's happening to this person? Abhi to itna pyar diya tha aur kitna de? Ab kaise feel karoge ki you have got attention?
It comes from a space of insecurity.
कौन है ऐसा जो इनसिक्योर नहीं है? चलिए यहाँ से सवाल पूछते हैं. और यहाँ पे Shiraz is saying, my dog scratches his ears and then smells his nails. पहले कान खुजलता है फिर smell करता है. And why is he doing this? And is there any remedy? Yes, thank you.
That's a natural thing he's doing. Animals live with smell. They have to smell. They smell each other's bum. He's not a human. I am not going to do this. For me, it's like yuck. Because I'm human, again, I am being conditioned this is dirty by my parents.
I know of human beings who do this all the time. They have to smell everything that walks around or sits around. So maybe they have a dog instinct left in them. But I love the way you're saying this is normal. There is no.
It's normal in a dog's world or a cat's world or an animal's world, because they will live, they recognize a person from the smell. They recognize, they can smell. We know about dogs where we have so many cases where they're smelling and they're telling who is having cancer, who's eaten what. They also are able to detect drugs and everything. Why are we using their smell so strongly? Because everything is all about smell for them.
And we use dogs for sniffing. And then when they're sniffing, that's what they do the best. We can't change them to non-sniffing because there's no medicine required. That's absolutely normal. Hey, that's really nice. Let's go to the next question. Anjana has put up a question. Any remedy for jealousy in dogs? I didn't know dogs get jealous. Can you talk about that and what's a remedy?
Actually, I've got 4 dogs, of which 3 are very social. They get along with each other. They're happy. They play. They have fun. But this one particular one, Glory, she has been a loner. She's very quiet. She stays back. She doesn't come forward. She doesn't express herself as much. But when she is alone, she kind of topples all over you and she's so happy. But now she picks up a fight with all of them. She's angry, but she wants to be just with us. So what does that show? Is it she's jealous?
Thank you for that question.
See, I would always say first look if medically there is any kind of pain or anything that's making her feel, because some animals' way of interacting is jumping on each other. And, sometimes the boundaries which the animals don't really, take care of each other's boundaries at many times because the other animal just wants to play. So first rule out that, but if there is a behavior which is the animal is getting into, jealousy and all, animals do feel jealous. Again, the human, you have to see in the human environment also someone is having that emotion, surely there is there. Okay.
Okay, it
So-
could be one because she gave birth twice. And when she was pregnant, she was always with us. I used to take extra care of her. And after that, when her babies were gone, she's back with the others. So could that be a reason?
It could be a reason. Anything. See, emotions are such thing. Animals are very individual. I will not put them into a box that this cannot be a reason. It could be a small, subtle things. We will not eliminate anything. We need to understand the animal completely. So if
Because
an
I
animal,
take good care.
yeah. So sometimes when animal feels this jealousy, then chicory and beach will help. Because when there is jealousy means I'm intolerant to X, Y, Z. So I will definitely work with beach over there, and I will work with chicory. And because I'm a chicory, I am feeling, this attention seeking, because I want the attention completely to myself. I don't want anyone else to be around this person when I am sitting with this person. So there is also anger over there. When the other dogs come, she will express an anger and she'll growl and all. So anger also runs. So you'll have a chicory, beach, and holly.
Okay, would you please explain? You said you take water, 30 ml water, and you
And put
add
2
4
drops of all, 2 drops of each.
Okay,
Of these.
and for crab apple, it is 4 drops, and you
Yes.
apply it all over the body.
Yes, because we are making it into a spray.
Okay.
You can spray it in the body. Yeah. There is also at the Bark Institute, you get the rescue cream.
Oh, I did
Okay.
not get that.
Yes.
I got the rescue remedy.
Yes. This is the Indian one.
Yes.
If you see in even what you can do is you can take your Vaseline jelly, which the cream that you can use for pets, or you can take coconut oil, put few drops of your crab apple and rescue remedy on that and apply that also.
Oh, wonderful. I'll do that. I've got gentian, crab apple, and rescue remedy. So I will add chicory, beech, and holly.
And you can also add gentian, because gentian is for any kind of setbacks. So the animal will have obviously this emotion will get clear, but setbacks are already there.
Okay, so this chicory, beech, holly, and gentian.
2 drops of each. Oral.
Directly into her mouth.
So when you create this mixture with 30 ml with 2 drops of this becomes your mixture bottle. From this mixture, you give her 3 drops or 4 drops about 6 times a day.
Okay, thank you.
You can give it directly, or you can put it in a piece of treat, her favorite treat. Just put those drops in the treat and offer it to the animal, or you can put it in the food or water also, or the paw.
Yeah, her treat is the best.
Yeah, that's the best way. And if your animal is the one who just takes it directly, like my animals are not used to bark flowers, so they take it directly.
I give them homeo that way. I can do that.
Yeah. So you can try if they are taking it that way, then well and good.
All I have to say to my golden retriever is Aarti auntie sent this. Aarti Didi sent this. And she will happily have it straight into her mouth. So that was a wonderful question. We have Shiraz and Rita. Do you guys have any question right now that you need to explore? Anything that is coming for you, Rita? Or Shiraz, you need to clear up anything? Okay, if not, we can. Or Agam, do you have any question that you need to ask? If not, we can go further and get a little bit more knowledge around. I was very intrigued because jealousy, when Anjana said, sounded more like the dog is angry. But what would you say when the dog is wanting your attention and somebody else has come in at that time to take the attention? It could be a food. And I do that sometimes with my Luna. I just take food and I'll try putting it in my driver's mouth or my son's mouth or my husband's mouth, and she'll come over there and say, no, this is mine. Is that also jealousy?
In a way, no. But that was just the animal coming, like how kids are there. The jealousy, see, everyone has these remedies, these personalities within themselves. The problem happens when this personality goes from the positive state jumps into the negative minus minus and goes there. When it becomes too much, because these things make us what we are. Me as an individual, I am certain part of this personality, of this different, if we are recognizing these flowers and these personalities with that, I am a mix of certain of them. And that makes me who I am. The problem happens if I go overboard negative to it or overboard on the other side. Like when we talk about a Bach flower remedy like Centauri. Centauri are for people who are unable to say no at all. So it's a very good remedy for boundaries. Again, that can also become a very aggressive remedy, because if someone who's saying unable of always being people pleasing, so they're people pleasers basically. So a person who's only being people pleaser for all these years, and all of a sudden takes Centauri and starts saying no, 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 there is going to be a fight in the whole family. You think isko kya hua? Centauri very helpful for animals for immunity building, but I will not give it regular to them, because if an animal is not understanding boundaries and everything, then it can because it's a remedy for creating strong boundaries. So if an animal already has a strong boundary, I will not maybe give it to consume it on a regular basis, because animals don't have this people pleasing so strongly how much they have agrimony strongly. Animals are very open about I do not like this. You touch an animal in a part they don't want to be touched, they will literally say no.
So can it happen that with the same human being, they were first very friendly? Like I've noticed two new things that, my animal was very, very friendly with my maid, who has been there taking care of her ever since she's a little puppy. Suddenly I noticed that she doesn't want to go down with her, and she doesn't want to go anywhere close to her. She will rather come and sit with me like she's sitting with me right now, rather than being outside and with them. So does this behavior also show something, or something like, a car ride that she would love before? Suddenly she doesn't want to get into the car or go anywhere near it, even when we have opened the doors. And all of us are not understanding what's going on there. Why doesn't she want to get inside the car? She used to love it. And I don't remember any incident happening which is negative. And we are all looking at each other and saying maybe somebody did something, something happened. But it seems rather odd. And you were talking about odd behavior, and we need to look at it. So anything around that. And yes, Anjana also says anything for motion sickness, please.
So there could be one thing, either that she's bored of the same routine, she wants a change. So probably I will say, or also possibility, sometimes the animal is like, I want to spend, even if in that person's field something is happening in their personal life and her energies are not in this thing, the animal might not want to be there in that space. Sometimes the animals will, so I have had cases where my own dog will see like there will be coming certain times in the day where she'll go and sit alone in the room, because she's like, that's it, I've had enough of y'all, I need my own space. And I need to respect. So those are choices. Our choices change as we grow.
Okay.
So animals' choices also change as they grow. And also there could be a boredom, or there could be a simple thing that she's making a choice to be with you.
Okay, got it. She wants to be with us in a different way rather than sitting in the car. And I can just understand if she's sitting behind, she isn't getting the attention, because it all started with she wanting to jump and sit in the front first. And obviously she was getting very crammed up. She's too big and large to sit in my gobi and sit down. So yes, now it makes sense. Thank you so much. I never thought about it.
I sense that she just wants a change. So just take her to the garden and make her run. And I think her energies, because see, Mother Nature is from where they come. They're most grounded with the 4 feet to Mother Nature than even us. So when they are in nature, their entire meridians and everything gets in sync also. It's a very beautiful way of grounding.
Absolutely. And Anjana is saying that any medicine for motion sickness. My male dog is motion sick and pukes after traveling in the car. Shiraz also has a question. So if we can pick up this one first and then take Shiraz's question. And time is ticking. Guys, we are almost at the end of the session. So yes, Aarti.
So if there is motion sickness, first most important thing that you need to do is make sure that your animal is not eating anything at least 1 or 2 hours before. Because if he's eating 1 or 2 hours before, he is going to have motion sickness, he is going to vomit. Okay, so make sure that, the food is not something, is just there. One of the best remedies in bark flowers, I would say, scleranthus could work.
You spell that out first,
SCLE, I'll write it down.
please. Thank you.
Scleranthus will work. And one beautiful remedy is ginger. Ginger can be used for our animals also. Just take a piece of ginger and let them smell it.
Thank you for that, Aarti. She's written, put it in the chat.
Or a ginger essential oil is what you can use. But really diluted, just 1 drop in 5 ml of oil, that's it. You can take a carrier oil as a coconut oil and take a good quality ginger oil. And you don't have to apply it, you just have to put it in your palms and let them sniff it, that's it. No application of oils on animals.
Wow. Thank you for that. And we go to Shiraz. Shiraz says, my dog will come in the room where we are not, not wanting to stay alone. So she's always chasing them, always around them. She's not taking her time alone. She wants to be with the family. So is there anything around this?
Some animals do not want to, always want to have their own space. But it could also be a possibility that your animal has separation anxiety, which is a very common thing in animals, especially now with COVID situation that's happened where the pet parents have always been at home. And now the pet parents going at work or going back, as we are getting back to normal, the animal is going to feel anxiety. So there is the separation and anxiety is what I feel. So start leaving her for a very short time. Go out of the room only for 5 minutes. Another way that has helped with my dog, which she had separation anxiety when she was a puppy when she came. So whenever you go out, switch on the TV and go. This is what the behavior had told me. They want the voices to be there to feel secure. Second most important thing, leave your clothes, not washed clothes. Something that you have worn should smell of you. Your animal will feel secure with your smell.
Wow.
But again, start with very small cycles. Don't leave your dog all of a sudden for 3 hours and leave all these things and think that your animal is going to be fine. He might get nervous. And in bark flowers, definitely rescue remedy can help. And along with rescue remedy, I might also look at fear remedies here because the animal could be having fear because where is my human gone away all of a sudden? So a mimulus can help here. A gentian, I'll just tell you how many drops of each. Gentian, because you have gone away, so there is a setback for the animal.
Absolutely.
You can also put a walnut, which is for transition, because you're going to gradually bring the transition for the animal.
Aarti, I'm going to request you to put all these spellings down in the chat so that we have it right and don't make any mistakes. And at the same time, what I'm going to do is just take you through the last slides. We've come to the end of the session. Time never stops for anyone, and we are all time sensitive. So, I'm really in huge gratitude to Agam, to all of you, and to Aarti for creating this, because this is such a need of the hour. When we are talking about vulnerable people, vulnerable personalities, vulnerabilities, we're not even looking at the pets and the animals. And they probably are most vulnerable because we as human beings have thought that we are superior. But they always say, step into someone's shoes. Step into someone's shoes, you really understand what it is to be in their shoes. So we really have a lot to learn from the animals, is what I understand. And the bridge between the animals and us is getting filled by Aarti. And so deep acknowledgement to you, Aarti. And I'm just going to go to the last slides. So let's just look whether we went through the impact of emotions on our pets. We tried to understand as pet parents what we need to keep an eye on. And there were very good feelers over there. Like I asked a question, I always thought, oh, somebody must have threatened her. I never thought she must have got bored or she wants to spend time with me or with my family in a different way. To understand as a pet parent how to support our pets emotionally. It was an amazing insight, Aarti, by you, where you made us aware that not just we feel emotions, not just we feel sad, not just we mask our emotions, but kya hai na ki our animals learn from us and do the same. And we are teaching them something that's really coming in the way. To learn the impact of emotion on physical body, and we did speak about physical diseases, we spoke about UTI as well as the skin issues, which or the thyroid, which was shared by the animal and the owner, and both the animal and the pet parent or the owner, whichever name you want to call, has to work on themselves. It is not it's not a competition, it's a cooperation that needs to be got in, wherein you have the understanding that the pet is showing you something that you don't want to see. अभी भी नहीं देखा तो फिर क्या होगा पता है, फिर आप अंधे हो जाओगे. इसलिए अगर आपको रियली 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 अपनी लाइफ में कुछ चेंज लानी है तो देखिए आपका एनिमल आपको क्या कह रहा है. And itne nicely, Aarti has given us so many remedies in the bug flower. She's been very, very, very generous. And I really have extreme regard for her because, yes, Shiraz. Yes, Shiraz.
Ma'am, you can complete, then I will ask. I didn't want to interrupt you actually.
Thank you, Ji. So keep the conversation going and explore, click on this explore to find out what are the other classes that you may be interested in. And look out for those classes because we have wonderful guides who are going to be with you, empower you, help you out. And please do check your email and please give us the feedback because we need that to understand how to navigate the show and how to continue bringing to you the pet talk. Share your experiences and इसमें कंजूसी मत कीजिएगा क्योंकि आप जब शेयरिंग नहीं करते हैं ना तो लोगों को नहीं मालूम कि आपको ये मजा आया नहीं आया. So take 2 minutes, go right on the Facebook, go right on Insta and tell us how you're feeling. If you really want this to continue, hashtag it, add get set up. And you know what, if you have a get set up story, आपके पास कुछ ऐसा है हमें बताने के लिए, because of get set up कुछ ऐसा आपकी जिंदगी में change आई है, तो please write to social@getsetup.io. We love these stories because in your empowerment, we get empowered. If you want to host an interest group and you want to be an ambassador, please contact help@getsetup.io. So opportunities ही opportunities है and opportunities का महल है. It is up to you how you're going to take these opportunities and go further. And I will just go to Shiraz, pick up her last question before we do anything else. Yes, Shiraz.
Yes, Aarti, I wanted to ask you whether are you a veterinary doctor or are you a bug flower? I mean, what do you exactly do?
I'm not a doctor.
Okay.
Okay, I am a Babsa therapist. I work with pets as well as humans.
Okay.
And I also train people with bug flowers.
Okay, so is there, because I would not be able to give this bug flower remedies on my own. I would not know what is right. So is there a way to consult you?
Definitely, I can take my reference number from Anu and then you can get in touch with me.
I will take you back to Aarti's qualifications because this was a very important question. And I think if anybody's missed out on it, it's really important. She calls herself an animal communicator, holistic animal healer. She is a sound healer for pets, bug flower trainer. And what's nice about her, she's not only talking from books, she's talking from her experience. And animals have come and touched her life. This is a very new branch where very few people know how to do these things elegantly and effectively. So that is who she is. And I really want to acknowledge her and thank you, Shiraz, for asking that question, because a lot of people think only if you have a DR in front of you, are you suitable enough, or I can do this or do that? And that's a very, very valid question. Doctors do their job, and Aarti does her job. She doesn't interfere with what doctors say. And that's very, very important for you. These are supplements that you give above, and they have no side effects. So thank you very much for asking that question around the bug flowers.
So I
Okay.
just want to know, for doing this bug flower, you don't need to be a doctor. Means anybody can learn it. Right?
Yes, yes, yes. Anyone can learn. And it's supportive of everything. It supports you in your journey ahead. It's not something which will cure you completely, because it takes us years to create the disease. So first take care of the emotion that's created the disease.
Okay, so last thing, is it called as bug or is it called as bug?
So it's actually BACH. Now Dr. Bach was from UK.
Okay.
So there are some people who call him Bach, some call him Batch. So everyone has a different way of pronouncing it according to the country there they are.
Okay, so anything is fine. Bug, batch, bug. Okay.
Absolutely, Shiraz. Nobody's going to ask you because they don't know what that means.
It is Dr. Batch. It is under his name. So everyone has his, pronounces it according to their country that they are in.
Yes. So you can please mark BACH is what it is called, and the spellings are more important than the pronunciation or pronunciation, depending on where you are. What is really important is these are the supplements of flowers, and they are harmless. They do support your healing, and I think we did go into the history of bug flowers last time. Again, deep acknowledgement for you asking that question, because a lot of people will say, "Main aise kaise?" Well, we are those people who take medications without thinking. These are not medications. These are supplements that can help you to move ahead. So I want to just ask Aarti. Aarti, thank you very much. We've actually crossed the time. It's 2:04. So really, really thank you. And thank you, Shiraz. Thank you, Anjana. Thank you, Agam, for being my TA and for supporting me today. So
Thanks,
see
ma'am.
you all
Thank you, everyone.
again
Thank
tomorrow.
you.
Tomorrow I have 3 sessions with you at 1 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and 7 o'clock. 2 of them are art sessions, and the last one is the sound session, because Sunday is a chutti for me this time. Thank you so much, and see you back again tomorrow. Bye
Thank you,
bye.
ma'am. Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.